Hi, folks. This is Will, and we're talking about the casino families of the Sequoia Wastes. And while previously they had been exclusively pureblood, there have been recent changes that make them less exclusively one strain. So we'll talk about the purebloods first. The purebloods of the Sequoia Waste live a life of privilege and luxury. Even those purebloods that have been displaced due to the loss of their home casino in the conflict with Felvik's host from way back are still welcomed with open arms at the remaining casinos. Purebloods are good with money. They have these casino fortresses that stand and are basically a haven for those who wish to gamble there. And because of that, they have this, they've had the market cornered on this exploitable market. Now, for these purebloods, the fashion for them in the Sequoia Wastes is pretty much in line with their peers throughout the rest of the greater wasteland. They love to wear bright colors, ornate jewelry, and basically show off that they're good with money. All of the purebloods within the Sequoia Wastes identify themselves by the name of their ancestral casinos. For those poor souls who have lost their casinos to the machinations of the Final Nights, they add their current host casino to their full appellation. So if someone was previously with the Fortunes, they would be like whatever their host casino is. So if they're a Windfall, if they're living with the Windfalls now, they are a Windfall X Fortune. And there's quite a few of those. Now, outside of pureblood company, names are often shortened to make things easier to understand amongst strains that don't have this practice. The Red Earth Casino Coalition, previously by purebloods for purebloods, but that has started to change. And it has now more by the wealthy for the wealthy. So the purebloods of the Sequoia Waste operate as a cohesive whole that was formed under the banner of the Red Earth Casino Coalition. Prior to the wreck, the casino purebloods were often found playing political games, trying to be the most impressive and powerful family in the Sequoia Wastes. The RECC was formed in response to the destruction of the Fortune Reserve and Casino. It was the first casino to fall to the might of Felvik's host of Final Nights and the treachery of the Vegasian advisors that worked within the Fortune Casino. The war between the coalition and Felvik's host would rage for years, 15 or so years. Every life in the Waste was touched by the conflict in some way. You either had a family member doing mercenary work for the casinos, or someone you knew was conscripted into the ranks of the Final Nights, often against their will. The RECC claims responsibility for the death of the forces of the Final Nights and maintains to this day that there are no Final Nights within the Sequoia Wastes. Every pureblood that originated within the Sequoia Wastes has or had a casino home. These homes often shape how they behave and even how they may dress. Here are the 4 most significant pureblood casino families within the Wastes, and one that no longer exists. The Windfall World Casino. This is the largest casino fortress in the Sequoia Wastes. The Windfall is home to excess and privilege on a scale that far exceeds all of the following casinos. The Windfall Casino is where the currency of the Wastes, the Day, was first minted. People were allowed to gamble away their time if they didn't have anything to barter. This always worked out in the casino's favor. The Windfall families are known for the casual disconnection with the wasteland reality that often comes with nearly limitless wealth. The Windfall family dresses as is appropriate for a pureblood and often try to set their dress as the standard as that they encourage other lesser pureblood families to follow, and to say less wealthy. The Windfalls have enough money to invest in every venture within the Sequoia Wastes. Often, this is because people need a few extra days to start off a project. On other occasions, it is because the Windfalls saw something making a profit and decided they were entitled to partial ownership. The Hard Rocker Faith Museum and Casino. The Casino family is known as the destination of choice for traveling members of the virtues of the King's Court. They care about all things related to music, but the other old world artifact can be located among their collection. Hard Rockers stylize themselves as the pureblood interpretation of their king or queen of choice. They can be recognized by their over-the-top interpretations of their spiritual icons and are currently enjoying a fairly decent public image. They're simply too busy obsessing over their collection to bother with outsiders unless they absolutely have to. The Shiverwind Casino. The fallen to third wealthiest casino family, the Shiverwind Casino, is known for loving all things morbid and creepy. While the casino produces a significant amount of days for the family, they have learned that their real gift is exploring and exploiting the corpse of the old world. The Shiverwind family produces a significant number of people that are interested in the past. And these folks are often responsible for scouring the waste for treasures and ghastly little things that they find of interest. Whatever they don't like is often sold off to other pureblood families at as high a price as market forces will allow. The Shiverwind family has recently divested itself from any forced manipulation of the lives of full dead and simpermorts. This has been a blow to the identities of a number of full deads and simpermorts, but there is a faction within the Shiverwinds, the Amore Shiverwinds, which have currently dedicated a significant amount of resources and their own personal time to trying to fix a problem that they absolutely created themselves. Their connection to all things morbid is often obvious in their dress. The Shiverwinds are fond of black clothing with bright colors, intricate lace, and ornate jewelry as an accent to the outfit. So, the Old Castle Casino. It's sometimes jokingly referred to as Old Castle Farms by other pureblood or casino families. The Old Castle Casino was previously unexceptional. And, well, the casino itself still is. They do possess it, and it was seen as one of the least impressive structures that was allowed to be called pureblood. The Old Castle family was often the punchline for the jokes of other purebloods. That is, of course, until Verdurf Gardens was discovered. An Old Castle pureblood was one of the first to take the risk and buy an expensive map from that wandering diesel jock. When they arrived, this pureblood saw this green space for what it was and set to cornering the market, providing food to the wastes. They conned a community into working for basically free, and they exploited them continually. Now, as time passed, the wealth generated by the labor of these untroubled allowed the Old Castle casino to go from insignificant to being the number 4 casino in the Sequoia Wastes. They enjoyed their new money status and have been rubbing it in the faces of any and everyone that they can. They don't really know what to do with their money yet, but they've kind of come in. They came into their own, and it worked out pretty well for them for a while. Now, they made some bad decisions, and they've fallen further in the ranks. but their significant holdings and the significant profit they made off of these farms still means that with all the horrible things that have happened, they're still in the top 4. These, they lost control of the untroubled. The untroubled are now their own people with their own destiny, and more stories of them later. The Fortune Reserve and Casino, destroyed. The Fortune was never counted among the wealthiest or largest of casinos in the Sequoia Wastes. However, the Fortunes were regarded as purebloods that were able to stay relatively neutral during inter-casino disputes. This unique place among the casino families meant that the Fortune was often the place that other purebloods would go to settle their differences or buy themselves out of problems. This relatively trustworthy status among the casino families caused the Fortune to become the home away from home for the valuables of many a paranoid pureblood. Can't trust your kids to not prematurely murder you for your stuff? Put their inheritance in the Fortune and your future is safe. Well, at least that's what they like to say. Owning a private vault became a mark of high standing among the elite of the Sequoia Wastes casinos. It was well known that anyone who was anyone had a private collection at the Fortune. This was likely a contributing factor in why the final night forces of Felvik chose to take the Fortune before they attacked any other casino. While the public line pushed by the RECC is that the loss of the Fortune family was the motivation for everyone setting aside their differences, most of the more cynical purebloods think that the decision to team up was motivated solely by money. The survivors of the death of the Fortune Casino still carry the name with them to this day. While many of them have found new casino homes and the names that are required of such affiliation, they will still proudly identify themselves as having an ancestral claim to the Fortune Reserve and Casino. These purebloods include ex-Fortune at the end of their names. And so while not, the next thing I'm about to talk about is not a casino, but it is an outgrowth of casino culture and is an important thing to the casino families. The Gardens Country Club. The discovery of Verdigris Gardens caused quite an uproar in the pureblood community. The casino purebloods of the Sequoia Wastes put a high value on golf course ownership. The largest golf course, in quotations, in the Waste clocked in at a whopping 3 full holes. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot to us, but in a world where green grass comes at a premium, that's a lot of farmable land that was sacrificed for prestige. So when there was a chance to not only have a golf course, but to have an entire country club, the pureblood factions of Sequoia Waste were on the edge, and the truce that established the Red Earth Casino Coalition was at risk. That is when the upstarts at the Safeway Market stepped in and promised to create a neutral space where all of the pureblood casino families had equal influence and were able to enjoy the leisure and the prestige that comes with country club membership. This neutral space is maintained to this day, and no other pureblood family is considered superior to another while visiting the Gardens Country Club. Country club members would occasionally wander into the griftier parts of town to experience the dangerous side of the settlement. Previously, the country club was a fortress filled with walls, elevated homes, and that had been secured against the threats of the wasteland. And due to the actions of local grifters, the population of the country club changed. The grifters moved in, basically. And this was done somewhat as a way to keep the local purebloods amused with the antics of these rampaging adventurers, but it was also done as a way to establish one casino family over the others. Now, all of that can be changed. All of that can be modified. the coming season of Dystopia Rising Oklahoma presents you, yes, you, with the opportunity to change some of these things. This story is very much in the hands of the people that play it. And what I'm about to tell you is an example of just that. Earlier I said that the casino fortresses of the Sequoia Wastes were previously exclusively pureblood. Now they're just predominantly pureblood. Enter the Firebrand Casino. The Firebrand Casino is a casino fortress that was built fresh with the hands and resources of grifters that had come together to form this force where people that hadn't been born with the privilege of inextinguishable wealth could bring a little more hope to the wastes. Now, this terrifies a lot of the smaller pureblood casinos. And this resentment is often barely hidden. It also amuses greatly the Windfall Casino because they enjoy these upstarts and they often entertain their larger requests. That combined with the shift in leadership of the Shiverwind Casino family, things can change. This is your world, and your decisions can help shape it. Thank you for listening. This is Will. I will see you in the wasteland.